start recording, and that's it. Hang on. I think I almost got it. Yeah, okay, guys. I think I got it. Okay. All right. Hang on. Now I got to get the links. Jesus. Okay. Hang on. I think I got it. Okay, I think I got it right. Good God, I have trouble with this. Okay, so John's in. All right, let me get a few of you guys else in. I think I sorted it out. I screwed you up with the other one. This is just a real challenge for me. Okay, I think I have it though. So if I go live here, I should see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm getting better. It's embarrassing to tell you the truth. I don't know why I have such a mental block on this. All right, so well, now I'm getting a late start. So okay, John. So let's hear shit. I guess we got the disclaimer. Okay, this is for educational purposes only. Blah blah blah. All right, here we go. We got a few guys in. I know many will watch this after the fact here. So first up here, let me get over to who's in the lineup. I think this is JoJo, who was quick to post this up. So he's doing some fancy stuff here. All right, you guys hear me okay? See me okay? It looks like we're working now, so it looks like we're okay. All right, just a few of you in, but we'll hopefully that'll grow. John, thanks up, man. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so this is well, I think he's a relatively new member, although I've seen his handle a few times. JoJo. I used to date a gal named JoJo. So, but I actually looks like this is a female. All right, so what do we got? Fantom coin. Well, this, I mean, does it, how do you not call that an impulse? I mean, it's just right in your face. So I mean, the channeling's good here. So this is all, looks like we can work this in this range here. Maybe a little throw over. I want to keep that channeling tight if I can. So it looks like just going up into the 50 just by doubling it here. So I get a good look at this channel, clear break. So what are we thinking, JoJo? So this looks all quite good. Like Elliott, this is just, I assume most of you guys know this, but the higher the time frame, I think my view, the more effective the Elliott is. So when we get out to a daily like this, it's really hard to miss it. What are we coming off of, right? So we get, it doesn't really matter, right? So we get a liquidity grab down here. They grab all the liquidity, and then up we go in just a ripping, just a beautiful, just out of curiosity. What a nice looking impulse. Didn't quite get, well, what's interesting about that is, look, we get the 1618 up here for the 5th. So kind of curious to see if we take the 5 from the 1, not quite, right? So we came a little shy up here, but coming off of that, now it would have been easy to think, oh, A, B, C, right? But that C relative to the A, B would have maybe had you think twice there. Let's see. 1, 2. I tell you what, Jojo, I'd probably move. Oh, did you lock me? Yeah, you did. I'd likely pull this over here, so I can get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into that 3. I mean, you were very. That's may have just been it slipped while you were doing it. So just drawing it in, right? We can all see this. So it's a pretty good 1, 2, 3. You need the 4, 5 to get your 5 into the third. You got a nice 3 into the fourth. So that's all clean. Down for Bo. I don't know that matters. That's kind of a wonky. Fuck this shit. I don't think it really matters here. As we come out of there, is that the cleanest finish? No, but you've got a little shit. What are you going to do with that? Maybe that's what you were thinking, but you need this for the 5. So let's just go here. That's kind of the implication. Let's go now. Let's go to an 8. See if we get any help there. Whew, that's a little bit of a fucker right there. Jesus, what are we going to do with that? Now we care. That's potentially that's a problem. If this starts to break down, you'd likely be back here going, well, this doesn't have an. I mean, you got a clean finish here, so then you might be thinking A, B, C, but it would appear we've gone too far here. I mean, so if it were me, this is what I would do. If I'm trading here, I would just highlight this and say, okay, if I have a problem, if this starts to roll over here, I know this count is going to need to be relabeled. This is a bit of a fucker right there. You've got a 5 here. Jesus, how are we going to do that? Well, you might have to do. You might maybe I was too quick to do it that way. Let's see if I can get that done. Can we do it this way? Just I don't want to be just blowing through rule set here. So let's just because it's inconvenient, right? It's tempting to just go, oh, fuck it, right? But it looks like we're okay there. So you could get a diag to finish this down here. It looks like that's what you'd have to do. And shit, Jojo, my apologies. I was quick to push that 4 off over here, but on the lower time frame, I think that's what you got to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a pretty ugly diag, but I think you had it right. So pardon my glibness in quickly correcting there. So if this is our good, so she's got a candidate for the A here, right? So if we bring this over here, the thought being, okay, we're starting the correction. There's the A. Now it looks like some complexity here in the B. So I've got a pretty decent looking 5. Gets a little skinny, so possible the 3, 4 relative to the 1, 2 is not ideal. But then we get this beautiful. So what do we got here? Right. So what's the first thing that pops into your head? My first question always is, okay, where's Waldo? Right. What did the algo do last? We are not yet there. So we've got some reasonable targets here. This looks like a good 1, 2. Oh, geez, you got me locked. Okay. So could roll over because that's not well, let's dig in there. You'd like to see that get a nice, if that's your 1, that's a pretty good looking 1, 2. So hopefully you've got some sort of a diag going into your 3. That's a clean 1. Right, that's good. So let's get that. So brighten that up a little bit. Actually, it looks like a WXY. Almost doesn't matter. But if I were being real precise with it, it looks like 3, 3, 3. This is kind of unshaped here, so it almost doesn't need a label. I would just kind of wait and see which way it goes. I'd start doing a little channeling here. Okay, well here's the channel that we're working in. There's no clear count, right? So can you throw some labels up there? Sure. Right, you're kind of hoping that's the 2, and that this is some sort of a sorry. Maybe we can get something labeled here. I suppose I'd be thinking some sort of a diag that way. Let's get this down a bit. Kind of making do with what's there. I want the overlap. Looks like you'd have a decent 50 there if we do it here. 38. Yeah, I mean, that's where that if I could, I'd pencil that in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So hopefully that's the one of the three. If we're going to go up for the full Monty, and we're going to get a big 3 there, so we can look at this. Come here. Let's tighten you up. All right, we know. So what's the important pivot here for the technician that's using median lines? All right, let's tighten this up. How do we know where the odds lie? Well, as long as this pivot holds, right? So we get a golden corner here. I mean, it's just breaking the 618. So we get a golden corner. We know we have 80% probability, right? So it's best odds in trading, right? Unless we're going to talk options, right? That's from a TA perspective, that is the single best odds in trading, right? Probably one of the least used tools. And you've heard me say this many, many, many times. Well, if this is 1, 2, we're hoping that's 1, 2. So 3 would come out further. I still can't, oh boy, she did lock me. You can't eliminate the possibility that this is corrective and some sort of an expanded B, but that wouldn't be my primary count. Why, right? So far, it looks like crypto's, the initial stages of a bull run are there. Now, of course, we could crater here and things could change quickly. But right now, I think there's no reason to be defensive here. I think you want to be a little bit more aggressive based on what we're seeing across the whole crypto landscape. So I'd be leaning into, this would be the secondary count. I would be leaning into something more aggressive. Now, the other alternative here is that, which we'd have to consider, could we complete the correction here? Could we get it done? Let me back up a second. Because you really don't want this, right? This is the antithesis of what I was just saying. Well, would this be a valid? I mean, this is here. I'm just doing this on the fly, just kind of thought process. Well, we'd be 38 here, a little skinny for the 2, but we didn't get textbook. We got kind of a short 3, relatively speaking. Could we be done here? That might solve that problem. To be done here, well, so maybe I'm just too bullish. Well, here's the golden zone coming from the other direction. So I think she's already got this. I hope it's a C. She's already got this teed up. So the A, B, C, boy, that would be such a collapse of a really, you'd call this one of the top contenders for an alt that's going to survive and thrive. That would be such a crash here for Fantom. I would be a little bit surprised, but the TA would suggest if this is going to hold as the A, this is just the corrective B. Could we get something done here? Well, it would be a little bit like Bitcoin in that you'd have to be working some sort of a double. Looks like you could do a WX. Jesus, that's a monster Y. X, and then you have to do A, B, C. So it would be in that range of similar kind of a Elliott shuffle to get it done. Now, this is kind of interesting. So all of these, I don't know what that is. Something is that? What she got on there? I don't know where that came from. What is that? So that's, it's an indicator. Well, it's telling me what it is, but I don't get to see it up here. I don't know, something cool she's come up with, or it's her own shit. Could that be her own work? Could be, I suppose, right? It's not coming up here as an indicator. Well, but this is so negative. Boy, that would be a real bummer for alts, right? So if Fantom is doing that, then everything else is coming down. So either we're going to go with it looks like a sharp double would be a little bit of there's a little hopium in that we didn't go 5, 3, 5. So I'd factor that in with regards to any upside potential here. So how do we eliminate it? Well, you can't eliminate that threat until you get a 4-5. So that's, you could hope you got a good impulse here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Instead of going this way, we'd go up for the 5. So, welcome to trading, right? You can't eliminate that possibility. So 1, 2, you're hoping for a 1. This 3, 4 all would be up here. Let's see if we can put together a roadmap here, acknowledging that B. Oh, you're giving me a question mark. Yeah, I'm with you. Still very much a candidate. That we went A, B, C. Is there anything? Well, I suppose the other alternative here that we could consider is that we've done this 3, 4, and now we're working towards that 5. Now, that's not a bad thought for an alternate, just in terms of thinking through possibilities here, because you're kind of at could go either way. You can see the technical box that you're in between this fib and that fib. Could you trade it long? Well, let's go in there again. Let's go down to a 4-hour, see how that looks. And Jojo, see, I get the impression that your count here is leaning bearish. I could be wrong. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Right? That we could be going that way. This would be unusually deep for the 1, but then you had a pretty big 3. Pardon me, for the 4. Oh Jesus, I'm locked everywhere, right? So this being, that's a mighty tiny little 4 relative to this 2, which is why I might rethink this. So actually, I mean, this is an interesting case because you've got so many variables. So it kind of leaves you looking for a little bit of additional info. So because we do have the golden corner down here. So the failure to make the median line, if we roll over, we know the target, right? Equal to or greater than the swing that failed to get there. So if we don't get this here, then I'd be a little bit concerned that this is about to roll over. What did we get there? Is that a 50? Well, we're broke on that side. Let's come out of log scale. Still a break. So that would give you bull's advantage here just on the last swing structure here. You've broken that algo. So if we go up here and get that, I'd be thinking 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't know that I'd stick around here. Jojo, if you're in it, it looks like you've got it mapped out pretty well. This is not enough for me to think, oh, geez, I really like what I see here. I'm dying to get in. You got some resistance up here that it's struggling with. A, B, C. So that you'd have that's a contender here. I appreciate that this is something you're watching. You may well be in it. For a new trade, this isn't good enough. There's too many variables here for me to say, oh, I'm taking that. Now, if this had a better looking impulse coming off, because you're left with 1, 2, got to be some sort of a 1 of 3, which, I mean, if it's going to be 1, 2, you're going to have a 1 of 3, but that's not the kind of setup that I would be chomping at the bit to take. I mean, I suppose you could take the potential for the 4-5 there with reasonable, but I wouldn't be looking for a big monster runner. Or you could use the 2 low, right? Can't overlap that. 2.5 to 1, not good enough, right? So that would be no trade for me. Just for me, that's not enough. If it goes up here, because if we do it, well, then you're just waiting for the next 3. If, let's say we get this, okay, we've got the 1 of the 3. What are we looking for, right? We'd be looking for the correction to come back down here. And then maybe we can get in the 3 of the 3. So you'd be looking for this. And of course, that's possible. But I wouldn't be, you could make a case here. You'd have liquidity up here that could be just a push to grab and tap into that, and then you'd come down here. If I got this, the 1, 2, 1, 2, I'd like that better. Then, if you can get a 2 right about here, then at least you'd have the beginnings, and it still could be the C, right? If that's the A, B, you still need an impulse here. Well, you'd be looking for a 5, could be a diag. You'd be looking for a 5 to finish there, but that looks a little sloppy. This would be, I would put this on my B list, as in, okay, I like the look of it. We had a great start. Good. The Elliott is relatively clear. But until I can get more clarity as to what I'm doing here, this would be a hurry up and watch and wait. It's my view, right? I mean, I know this is a great project here with lots of upside, but that TA is not good enough for me to want to chase that. I think most would agree. Okay, it's one to watch, but what are we doing with that? Not enough, right? So right now, what are you leaning on? You're leaning on the golden corner down here, and that 80%. So where do you absolutely confirm that you're wrong? Well, if you would you stay that long? I wouldn't, unless I was investing here for the long term, and then I wouldn't really care. But if I'm trading this, at least give me that last little kick. Right, give me that, then I'd maybe rethink it. Looking for that. Okay. Thanks. Made a dummy account. So, okay, good, got it. Okay, all right. I got total T here from George. Let me get that going. Okay, so what do we got here? Oh, I got George likes big text. I always think he needs reading glasses. Okay, so we're going to do total 2, excluding Bitcoin. Where is total 2? Total 2. Note to TD. Okay, so he doesn't want me to miss that. Okay, so total 2. Oh, you're giving me monthly. Holy shit. I show monthly, weekly for a 2-hour in this file. Oh, shit. 2-hour has all of, where is it, George? I don't know where it is. Oh, okay. I got it. Okay, so let's look here for total 2. Oh, and then we've got, he's got the SPX in here in blue. Okay, so how's our correlation? Let's do that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looking toppy. Okay, so let's go to the week list. Let me see if I can follow your plan here and go to your weekly. Let's see if that works. Does that work? Yeah, it works. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm gonna hide the SPX here. Okay, so we got that one. That's a good way to do it. For those of you that I'm not great with that thing. I'm gonna hide the volume just to free up the chart space. Okay, so what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. We can finish the 5. WXY. That looks good. Whew, that's iffy there, George. I mean, can we still call it the 2? Yeah, I guess we can. I mean, it didn't overlap, right? It's close, but that's not an overlap. So still technically valid. It looks like WXY, almost doesn't matter. If this is the Y, WABC, that's good. Expanding diag into the X, Y, that's just a waterfall. Looks good. All right, so this is bullish, right? Kind of consistent with the last chart we looked at, right? If we're going to get the run here that many are anticipating, this is not the time to be conservative. This is time to be aggressive. So for alts, do we have enough here to be aggressive? Well, let me keep going with your layout here. Bear with me. So let's go to daily. See how we look. And now let's see. Do I take weekly off when I do that? Yeah, I think I do. So now I go daily. And let me reset. Ooh. Okay, so the 5's in, the 2's in. We've got, oh shit, what are you doing there, George? I can't tell. Okay, so we're gonna go 1, 2, Jesus, what do we got there? Maybe I need to put the weekly back on there. Okay, yeah, I do. WXYXABCZ, which is, well, just like we were looking at Fantom, and Bitcoin's the same thing, right? It really is a 3. It looks like it's finishing with a 3, so a lot of people are struggling with that. Okay, so we'd be coming off of that. If it's 1, 2, I guess the 2 would go down here. WXY. Why are we going WXY there if it's 1, 2? Okay, well, let's, let's see, I got a 3 day here. Man, he's got a lot. Okay, so 1, that's going to be 1. 3, 4, 1, 2, or AB. Okay, now I see it. Okay, so let's go back a bit, see if I can make sense of this. Kind of looks like ETH, right, which would kind of be a proxy for total 2. 3, ABC, it doesn't really matter. You can do it either way. 5, WXY, 1, 2. All right, let's go. What else we got? Let's go to a 4 hour. Let's go to a 4 hour. It's not a bad way to do it the way he's got it here. 1, 2, right? What do we want? We want this to be an impulse. Do we have an impulse there? ABC into a WXY. This is very bearish. This is bearish bias. So the expectation is we're starting, right? We'd be starting on a 5 to come down to this. Well, let's just check a couple of things here. All right, we know that from looking at ETH. RSI is on the way down. I don't know what that is. Not sure what these are. Oh, I see what it is. You're taking that length and projecting up. Got it. Okay, so you got that, right? Plus it's an algo target, right? So here we see this is where the algo is going to fire. So a couple of ticks off the target. We go 1, 2? Well, you'd have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the assumption that that's completed. Okay, since I see what you're doing here, and we've already hit that target, that's good work, actually. Right, to use this triangle, can we 1, 2, 3, 4? Alternate would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we've completed there. But then you'd be thinking 1, 2. Yeah, it's not great. Kind of the same problem. We don't quite have the pretty, okay, there's the 1, there's the 2. Oh, I think you'd have to be pretty mindful of some of this structure up here as well. Let's use this. Let me do something like that. And then this as well is just saying, okay, I'm kind of stuck in this box. Oh, I'm sure Wyckoff traders are drooling at that, right? So is it accumulation? Well, see, when in doubt, right, I just start looking for what else is there. What's there that I'm not seeing? Golden corner. It's not quite a golden. But boy, that median line sure looks good. We just, oh shit, I'm probably close enough. Probably got it. If I get right on it. It's easy to get these off. All right, so let's get that teed up. So we got it. So here's your 80% being, well, you realized right here, but we're coming back for that final kiss. Sure looks like a 3. It's a bit of a force fit. So either it's 1, 2, WXY, and this is some, God, can we get a 1 to that? Well, let's look at the alternate here. Let me hide that. Oh, shit. How do I hide that? Let's hide that. No, that's not what I wanted. Let's hide it. Okay, so is it too much of a force fit to think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 1, 2, 1. Well, kind of the same thing, right? We see this very clear resistance that now we've broken through. When we come back to this, if we do come back to test, I'd want to see and maybe get a little more shaping here. What else do we have? We have a 1 hour in here. Jeez, this is very good detail. So there's the A, there's the B, there's the C of the W, WXY, X, WXY. So A, B, C is the alternate. Well, you can't trade it, so it's more just what's your bias. I think I'd be kind of watching for some signs of breakout here. This is, the market's going to want to go up here if it can, because there'll be a shitload of stops up here. So to try and get up and get that's what I'd be looking for. Okay, show me that there's a push up here. We grab that liquidity because there's just a buttload of stops up there. There's no question. Everybody on the planet knows that if we're going up here, well, of course, we're not trading this specifically, but just in general, the idea is a pivot like this. If we come up here, then that might start the retracement. It's kind of the same. This is good. It's very good work that he's done here. Until we get out of this box, we could be just range bound. There's not enough here to go, okay, I see it, right? Again, so many things to trade. Why compromise? Okay, I just need a little more reveal from the market here. I see the range. This is tricky. It doesn't make me want to sell my alts. It doesn't make me want to buy a bunch of alts either. So we're just kind of range bound here. I'd be watching these levels and just looking for more clues from the market. I don't think there's enough there to make any trading decisions, but very nicely done, George. Your work has gotten so much better. Thank you for posting that. Okay, give me 1 sec here. So I got Pizza Man coming. Oh, I'm getting the Dow. Okay, so let's get over here and see what he's thinking on the Dow. I think that's our next one. Pizza Man. Oh, Pizza Man gave me 2. Thanks, Pizza Man. Okay, so let's copy that. All right, we're going to find something here that looks tradable. Dow Jones. Okay, let's get a daily in there. Very nice use of, looks like he's got channeling and median lines going in. Look, it's just perfect technical confluence. Looks like that's right, our old friend. 50? No, didn't quite get there. Secondary pivot. There's a 50 off of this. It could be just hunting for something that hits. We're a little funky there. So we're going to go, you didn't give me this. WXYXZ. Okay, well, that looks like good correction. Nice use of the trend line here. So break, come back and test from above. That gives us the next set of trend lines. So let's get in there. Oh, let's go to a 4. Okay, well, why? I don't see any reason not. I mean, that's pretty. How do we not do that? Or maybe said differently, why would you not? This is the kind of setup we're looking for. So look, nice confluence in there. It's well done. So we've got we have a contender here. This is 3. Boy, that's a, well, you'd have to, oh, fuck. Sure looks a little bit like a 5. 3. Now you have to squeeze it in. X, a little dubious. A, B, C into the Y, A, B, C into the X. This X is a little questionable. And then if it's a Z, we need an A, B, C. That flies. And then we double bottom down here. Okay, count it how you will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. Looks reasonable. Okay, it looks like this is a good. Actually, it looks like it would be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. All right. Let's label it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. So now let's do a little measuring, right? It's just standard Elliott wave. Okay, let's look for wave. You wouldn't even have to necessarily you're thinking Elliott, let's just look at swing structure and swing relationship between this swing, the internal retracement that follows that stays within that range, and then we go up here, we get 127,138, second most common. Now, the alternate would be we could do it this way, which is not a bad thought, because we've got an internal in there. Sometimes you spot them as you're going, commonly. Okay, we can get that in there as a possible fifth. So now we're in the high probability zone for a third. So 1, 2, nice channeling on that third. God damn it. Right, nice on that. Down for the 4. I know it's crowded. It's always easier when it's your stuff to follow it. We're coming, but so when we pull back, here's where the algo fires, which is launching. So we've got a target up here. We got a good contender here for this. I'm going to change that color. Let's go to blue. If we got a good contender here for a 3, expecting the 4. The prior 3, 4 is a reasonable spot to be looking. Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. What do we got below? Okay, that looks like that could fly. Let's go to this hourly. All right, so here's the 3, right? Here's the 3. Here's the 4. Up 5 as we drift. Right, so the indicators are confirming what your eye sees, which is a positive. Okay, good channeling. Looks like this was technical. All right, so you just start building the case, right? So we've got a golden. Probably a little sloppy on that. Let's tighten that up. Looks like it's wicks only, right? So it's no close below. It looks like that closed right on the 65. Let that fly, right? We got third target, right? So that's how we know that 1618 is a contender, because this will match it. So 1, 2, I'd put another set of median lines on here. Another set of median lines just for that guidance here. Pretty good, right? 80% comes quickly. This 80%, what you're working on. Okay, let's come back here a little bit. Okay, so the play that he would be after here. Now, how are you going to trade this, right? If this is 1, 2 at the larger degree. Okay, well, first, all right, so you're bullish the Dow. Okay, may or may not be the case, right? In terms of, let's get that off. That's a very, very, very bullish count. Do we really? Let's see here. It kind of feels the same. Like you still got these. We're range bound, right? We're so hypersensitive to the Fed. It almost looks like Fantom where we started, where we can't quite get out of the range here. So this would give me a little bit more conviction. I don't know that if I was doing this, I'd probably trade it in options, and I'd look for something down here. This would be kind of the support I'd be looking, but I'd look for the 4 and then up for that 5. So if I could get a 1, 2, well, that's not going to be the 3. Well, then you'd be thinking, okay, I got a good contender here for the 1 of the 3. Let's brighten that up. All right, so 1, 2. Well, there's no reason not to play that as it sits right now, unless you're just an uber bear and you're looking for, oh shit, how else could we do this? Well, you could push the whole thing off. So you could go this is a bit of a fucker. WXY. So you could run it this way. So this is the same thing with the S&P. So you could run the ABC that way so we'd have WXY. So this would all push over. That would be an alternate. So you'd have WX. You wouldn't have the second X. The candidate for the second X would be up here, and then the Z would be down here. WXY, right, which is a contender for the S&P, right? So it's going to be very similar. So this could be A, B, C. You know, do we get the 4? You know, is the 4 up here? Well, how do you know, right? How are you going to know? Well, You're not going to know until you see what comes. So this would be tricky, but this is a high class problem. So if this is 3 and we're going to go A, B, C for the 4, if, and then we come up with a 5, well, you'd have a 5 here. Now that's not going to make you think X, right? So for an X, we'd be looking for A, B, C. And you want to be mindful, while that X, yeah, that can go higher, but you'd be anticipating that you wouldn't get a big push here for the second X. Ideally, it would stay below that, although I'm not such a purist. I wouldn't play it that way. A, B, C for the X. Well, all that said, if we come down for the 4 here, the next trade, to me, or as my eye looks at it, the next trade would be to be long here off the 4 for the 5. I'd probably just do something like that. Structure your option position with whatever you're comfortable with, right? You like to buy, call. So if we're coming down a little bit, calls will be a little bit less expensive. You could put together a call spread because you're not anticipating this, right? So it wouldn't be problematic to either leg into a spread and maybe you start with a call, and if it starts to go, then you're going to get a little more premium for the second one that you sell, and then you sell something up here. You can't sell too far. It's almost not worth it because you don't get enough back for the second one that you sell. But 1, 2, do I get a 5 here? Well, then I'm going to rethink that X. So what's the worst case here? This would be completely ass backwards. That this would be, it's hard to argue with a 5 there. This would be A, B, and we're going to double top into the C. I suppose that's a candidate. You could double top into the C and you go A, B, C into the X, because that's kind of hard to see. But right now, I don't see any reason to not be playing the long side, at least for a push up here to test that level. I'd probably draw this over here as well. Okay, and what's the last thing we can do? Again, back to wave relationships. Can I get a 1 if that's the one? If this were a 4, 1, 6, 1, 8, can they go farther? Yeah, but that's about what you'd be looking for, which would be right in line with that pivot. So you would kind of look and say, well, would that make sense to go up here, grab the liquidity, because there's a shitload up there. We go up here and grab that liquidity, finish this 5, and then start the correction. That's what I would have mapped out. But what would be really important here is this next move. So if you like the Dow here and you're a bull, again, there's a lot of different ways to express a bullish sentiment in the options market. Or you just, I don't know that I would be trading futures with it. I suppose you could trade an ETF, but I would just trade the Dow. I'd just trade the options. But you're not. It's not time to do it. You're kind of waiting. You got a good candidate here. Now you need if this is A, B, okay, let's get that off of there. A kind of looks like it might be a B. Do we know? Well, you don't know. So you're looking for that 4. Well, let's finish it. If that's the top, bring the 4 in down here. Vegas wave would curl up. Where's the high probability zone for the 4? 2338. A, B, C, there it is, right? So I a lot of talk about this in a lot of live streams when we're day trading in the futures. I want to visualize the trade that I'm looking for. Now, if something else happens, okay, well, I got to rethink it. But right now, I like to see it. So if it gets here, I don't have to hesitate. I know exactly. I've kind of pre-laid out the map. Oh shit, that's what I was looking for. That's how I do it. I want the trade I'm looking for. I want to map it out. And we'd come back to the prior 3, 4, and then prior structure, right? You can see the little liquidity grab that was here came back, and then they got through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a good finish, right? So everything is teed up there for that to play as a 4, 5. Right? It's pretty good. Good one, Pizza Man. I know you know that. Good use of geometry, good algo use, good Elliott labeling. You don't get certainty here. You get, okay, you got to pick a side, or the other choice is no trade. I think that's very tradable, but not yet. Okay, right, good one for the watch list. Okay, Pizza Man giving me woo as well. Okay, copy link. What we got for Woo? All right. Oh, we got a lot of people viewing. That's kind of nice, right? As you guys remember, the reason we do this, for those, we got a pretty good number of new members and some new subs. This is just part of the educational process. So we do this for two reasons. One, the primary purpose is for the members to submit their work so we can kind of get a look, okay, how are they progressing? How are they doing? Or as I always describe it this way, you guys, you regs, forgive me for all the repetition, but the reason we do it is that we're teaching this complete package, right? So people think of us as Elliott Wave, and I just have to remind people that's third on our list of the technical priorities. But we use it, and because that requires the most effort to learn, people think of us as Elliott Wave. But I don't think of myself as a pure Elliott Wave trader. But that's how we've built a reputation, and we do have some. As I said, I've been fortunate. We have some incredibly skilled Ellioticians that are on my team. So if you want to learn Elliott, this is about as good a place as you'll find anywhere to learn it. But what we want is for them to kind of teach it back to us. This is an old saying, if you want to learn something, teach it. And I can tell you, right, in the years that I've been doing this, I've become better. My Elliott Wave has improved because I get busted all the time too. Well, you fucked that up. And it just, through repetition, you get to be fluid with it, which is what you're after. You don't want to, you kind of want to get to that point to where you can look at it pretty quickly and ascertain, do I want to keep digging here? Is there a trade that I see here? Now, that could be because you like, I don't even know what this is. Woo. You like Woo. I literally have no idea what this is. Woo, you like it for whatever reason. Okay, now you're gonna dig a little harder because for whatever reason you think either it's gonna crash or burn. Okay, but if you want to trade this for any reason, okay, how are you gonna approach it, right? And again, we would never say that ours is the right approach. There's no right approach to the market. This is an approach. This is everything that I teach was all taught to me. Right, I have the few little original things that I've added to it over the years, but the vast majority was all the things that were taught to me when I was learning trading, and then went into the business and worked as a broker and watched a whole lot of people trade. And so you just learned through the repetition. And that's what we're trying to do here. I want to see these guys submit frequently over and over and over again. And then throughout the course of the week, where really my team is really posting a lot of content and correcting, and that's the process. So if you were attracted to this kind of environment, and you're like, well, I think I can do that, or I'd like to learn that. Well, this is a good way to do it, right? You got to be comfortable, exposing, maybe, I've had people here that obviously we're new to the markets and new to this kind of TA that makes some obvious mistakes. And this just, we're not going to beat anyone up, but we want to correct it so that you know how to correct it. Okay, so for whatever that little, what the hell is Woo? What is Woo? Somebody's got to tell me what Woo is. I literally never heard of it. But Pizza Man wouldn't put it up here if it wasn't something good. Okay, I think we got to go to log here. Woo, I'm assuming this is crypto, but okay, so I got a pretty ripping impulse. That looks good. Oh, nice pop here for, right? It would have been very easy to think, oh, wait a minute, is this an ABC with a truncated C? It would have been easy to think that, right? But when it can't be? Good use, right? That's nice work, Pizza Man. Okay, so we got a 1. That's kind of like what was Fantom was similar. Okay, is this ABC? Is that WXY? Sure, it looks like it finishes with a 3. It's much like Bitcoin, right? So, looks like there's a 5 there, but if I work backwards, that's a 3. Which would, okay, so this is a good example, right? Some people say, oh, the fucking Elliott is such a pain in the ass. But it forces you to think. It makes you think. Say, okay, if not this, then that. If it can't be, if it's not a 5 and that's not a 5, I got to rethink it. Okay, well, so what's the point of doing all that? Because it gives you the context as to what to anticipate next. Not what's going to happen with certainty. It's what can I anticipate? Well, if I can anticipate it and I can set up a low risk trade, then in my view, I have an advantage over other traders. That's why we teach this. If the Elliott is just too, then don't apply it. Strip the chart and just work off of support and resistance and geometry. But if it's there and you can make some conclusive, okay, this can't be a 5. This is not a 5. Okay, so what is that? What are the options? What does that leave? If it's not a 5, okay, well, let's consider that. Well, much like Bitcoin, we're kind of stuck with, oh, fuck, is this a sharp double where so I'm just going to work backwards, A, B, C. All right, so something's finishing there. So this likely an X, this likely the C. So do I have to do an A, B, C into a W, X, Y? Let's label it, Pizza Man. You sloughed off on me here. W, X, Y. He's usually pretty good about it. Let's get that in green. Now, as I sit here, I don't have absolute certainty that this is what we have. If I'm going to trade this, I might dig a little deeper. But just based off of what he's given me, Jesus, we might have a double here. Now, I don't know that it matters, right? It could be a W, X, Y, X, Z. It almost doesn't matter. Here's the impulse. Here's the correction. Is it a true double? No. So we get a little bit of a, look at the gap. Okay, so let's come back here. You want this to, even though we don't get a new low here, this is where the Elliott starts to show, right? Because that's an obvious 3. All right, let's dig in there a little deeper. 1, 2. Well, is there any question where the 3 is? Right? I mean, I don't know how that's not helpful to you. To be able to think, oh shit, okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a 5. Oh shit, I followed by a 3. Oh, but okay, well, if you're going to study Elliott Wave, you're going to learn about an expanded B wave, right? You can't have an expanded 2 wave, but I can have an expanded B wave. Okay, A, it's because you might have been thinking that 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, well, because your first thought would be, oh, it's the higher pivot, so that must be the 5. Well, slow down, right? It's not the case here. The higher probability here is that we've got a flat. So 3, 3, 5, A, B, C. Now, what's the next thing we're going to do, right? Any swing, right? We got to check where's Waldo. Right? Actually, remember the algo is not going to care about the Elliott count. It's just going to use dominant to dominant, right? So what's the swing structure? Here's the low. Here's the high, right? When you're pulling for the algo, ignore the Elliott. Where are the 2 extreme pivots? Okay, what do we do? Golden zone. So what does that mean we have here? I'm going to change that just to give you mine default, just because it's a little brighter. Okay, 1, 2. So what do I have here? Right here at that moment in time. I know hindsight. Sorry guys, but right there was 80% there. Banged. We're still in another 80%. Right now, we're trading principle number 3. If we're not going to pivot right on the median line, which as we did here, we might waffle around it a little bit before the market decides is it going lower parallel or upper parallel. Right? Again, it's reducing. It's giving your thinking some structure. Oh, okay, 1, 2. I'm looking for an impulse. Right? So if I get something with a lot of overlaps here, I know I'm likely wrong. So I'm going to rethink. So then if this, then that changes. So I go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? It looks like you got another one, right? So is the algo in here? Is the algo in here? You tell me. Right? Is it in here? Right? Again, this is not random, right? Human beings we're not that precise. Whoops. Right? Only software is that precise, right? Can do it back to back to back. Oh shit, I bet you that's another one. I'd be willing to bet you, right? Because this is how it works. It gets on a series like this, right? So this is why you hear me say things, and many of you have heard me say this 1,000 times. The people behind this, they could care less which side wins. Care less. Right? Get stopped out, who fucking cares? Because they're going to get a sequence like this that's going to compensate them for all those little time. Because for every measured move here that completes, there's one that fails, right? There's always one on the other side that's failing. So it could be the same, whatever, whale institution, call them what you will, fund. They don't care because they're going to get a series like this that's going to pay them so well. So 1, 2, 3, all hitting targets, right? We got one last target left. And that's the big one. That's this one. Right, has not gotten that target yet. The 80% here has been realized, but we don't have target, not just yet. Okay, so I have context here that the Elliott gives me. Then I can see some technical precision, so I know the algo's in here. Well, fuck, the algo's everywhere, right? Unless there's no volume, it's everywhere. Okay, I got a 1, I got a 2, I got a 1, I got a 2, I got a 1, I got a 2, I got a 3. All right, well, if this 1, 2, and then you start doing things like this. Okay, let's clean some of this up, right? This is why we do what we do and why we teach it, to help you, right? Because otherwise, it's kind of just chaos. And you're like, well, fuck, it's up, but do I buy it? Do I sell it? Again, heads I buy, tails I sell. How do you give it? So maybe you look at this and you say, okay, well, there's the resistance we broke through. Here's the classic, right? Oh, this is just, I spent a lot of time dwelling on this because of just this thing right here. So there were stops here because there's stops right here, right? So what do they do here? How's the breakout trader feeling right here? Oh man, it's going to go, right? We do this, right? We fill in the blanks in our mind. Just like I say, I try and visualize a trade. The breakout trader is thinking that. What happens to the breakout trader, right? It's up. They just run the stops, grab the liquidity, and your ass raped, right? They just kill you. Why? This is a mistake you'll make only so many times. And there's going to be a time where it's going to do that. You're going to be like, that motherfucker told me never to take those, and look at all that money I missed. I promise you, I wouldn't tell you that. I'm here to help you, not hurt you. If you do that, yes, it's going to happen, right? It has to happen at some point. We go sideways forever. But over time, if you keep doing this, your account is going to end up at 0. Or you're going to learn to not do it. I don't care how far that goes. I do not care, right? I've done this so many times. Listen, I didn't just decide this. I did it 100 times before I said, well, I'm never doing that again. But it's just a hard rule because I know the odds, not the certainty. The odds are when it breaks, they're going to come back and test it. Oh, what's going to happen here? Is a bunch of supply going to drop in? We're going to test. We good to go? Well, what is that creating? The 4. Right? If it comes down, overlaps the 1, oh, I don't have an impulse. Well, it can't be a 3. So this process of elimination is guiding your decision making. Oh, okay. Well, if it holds that pivot, I know I have an impulse. Now, could it be an ABC? Yeah, because until we're taking out the all-time high, yeah, it could be. But if it's an ABC, at this point, when I'm looking at that trade, do I care? No, I don't care. I just want that 5 to complete because I'm not trading for this. I'm trading for that. That's the trade. Because if it gets that, what am I anticipating, right? You got to do some anticipating. What am I anticipating next? The 4. Do I want to give it half of it back, if not more? And what if that's the top? Why am I giving it all back? Or at the very least, I want to take a partial here. Well, maybe you stick around, you take half of it off here because you're anticipating the 4 because that's what you've been trained to do, right? So if it's going to be a 5, I'm going to anticipate the 4. Does it mean the 4 is absolutely certainly coming? There is no certainty in the market. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So don't misinterpret what I'm saying as certainty about where the market's going. Nobody knows. Nobody ever knows. But since nobody can know, all we can work with is probabilities. And then we can work with this structure. This gives me context. So if it comes back here to this 4, I want to buy that. But not just sitting there with a limit order. I'm not just sitting there waiting because I don't know what that's going to look like when as we get here. I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see at least a good looking reversal bar. So I don't want to buy the low of a bar that's closing on its low. Oh shit, what do I have here? Well, there's a 3. Looks like you might have it, right? So there's an A, B, C, B, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'd be an ending diag, right? So we're looking for this to finish. So I'd be after, do I have it? 1, 2, have to check that that's not the shortest. Some sort of a contracting diag. Well, let's just see if we can make that work. Oh, if this is 1, and if that's 2, it may not work. WXAB, pardon me, WXABC, that's possible. It's kind of a chop monster, right? That wiki. What else can we do here? Right, you use the tools, right? So I could do something like this. Okay, oops. All right, I got something like this coming in, but look here, we're on that bar is on the low. I don't want to buy that. I want to see signs of strength, right? So for whatever reason, we're coming down here. Let's take that up a degree. You up a degree is what I was after. Two. 1, 2. Let's see. We can see it in here, right? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're gonna have to pull the 2 here. 3, 4, 5. Let's go micro. Let's put it in blue. Okay. So I've got all the right ingredients here. Everything we're looking for, right? So some of those early ones we looked at, it's like, oh fuck, I don't know, shit, it's not there yet, right? So see, when Elliott's there, it's like it's easy to spot. Oh, there it is. Oh, now there are times you're like, oh fuck, what is it? Oh shit, I'm not sure. If I dig a little bit, oh okay, there it is, right? You can spend a little time with it. Don't feel like, oh shit, I had to spend 20 minutes on this chart. Well, what a pain in the ass. Well, right, you want to get paid, put a little work in. This one we got to watch. Right, 1, 2. If we're looking for that 3, let's go up a degree here. Oh shit. Let's go up. We'll go here. Okay, 1, 2. I need this. So for to get conviction. Now, if you're a little hesitant for whatever reason on woo, wait for that to finish. Right, you're not sure. Like, I don't know. I didn't like the look of that for whatever reason. See, I view this as like, okay, as kind of was going off on last live stream. If I get stopped out here, that's not ruining my day. You know, I'm not going to put a massive amount of leverage on here. It's just another fucking trade, right? It's just like as I will often say, right? It's just like a bus. There's always another one coming. Now, where does this become a problem? When you do, I'm going to give it plenty of room. Right? That's just a suicide, right? You're just killing your account, right? But you're doing it yourself. What, I mean, worst case, max risk would be right there. Maximum, you're going to use that pivot. Well, here, right, if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, it can't overlap this. So it's interesting. You get a double top here. So you get a very clear, well, it's definitely wrong there. So we got 3 to 1. Again, why would you not take that trade? Well, there's only one reason, right? You like something better. Or you, for whatever reason, you don't like this setup, or you don't know anything about woo. I still don't know what woo is. Don't really care. Can I trade it? Well, is the volume good? Is there risk reward there? Is the technical pattern good? Have at it. But I'm not emotionally attached to this. Where it's like, oh, come on, baby, come on, just this one time, do it for me, do it for me. It's just another trade. Okay, great, good, win, loss, right? As long as I'm setting the trade, it really almost doesn't matter what the outcome is. It's, did you set the trade up right? Did you execute well? Was the money management good? Did you have a reasonable target, right? You don't have to take it all. Who knows, right? That thing could fly. At least take a percentage out here so that the plan that you laid out, get paid if you're not stopped out first. Get paid on that. Take a portion at least, because if you're right about the count, what are you anticipating? You're anticipating the next thing to happen is the correction of the 3. I can get it over there. Okay, well, again, do you want to give 3/4 of that back because you didn't want to take a partial profit? Seems kind of silly, right? If you're right, get paid. Trust me, plenty of times you're going to be wrong. Okay, thanks for that one, Pizza Man. Okay, I got Young Yan. Always, that's a tongue twister for me for some reason. Young Yan is giving me. Oh, I got a few more coming. Okay, I got. Oh, he wants Dell. Okay, looking at Dell. I'm so curious as to what the hell woo is. I gotta look it up now. Okay, we are looking at Dell. I gotta copy this, so bear with me a second. Copy. There we go. Now I'm going to get rid of this one. Okay, Dell. Now, Young Yan has become he's a student of the options market, so I know he's right because we did some training on options, and he's took to it, right? He's sticking with it. So not a lot of Elliott. Don't really need it. Can we label the Elliott here? Oh shit! I'd be inclined to be thinking whatever we did here. Just right there's a 3. Oh, can we go up here? Is that enough? Oh shit! Let me clean this up a little bit. All right. When I do that, it's not that volume isn't important to me. It's just I'm just saving some screen real estate. Okay, I got a bunch of EMAs here. I'm going to take the small ones off just to clear up the chart a little bit. I'm not sure why we have those. Okay, maybe just fine, right? So that's pretty good. 21.55, 200. All right, let's dig in. Oh, you're giving me the weekly. Oh, I know. That's because this is when they went public again. Well, that looks like a 3. Looks like a WXY. So A, B, C, X, A, B, C. So it looks like W, just at first glance. Right? Doesn't matter. Looks like we broke there. All right, it's just same process, right? Doesn't matter what the asset is, right? It's part of the benefit of what we're trying to teach is if you do it the same way consistently until you either decide that it's not the right TA approach for you, the power is in doing it the same way every time. That's the value, right? Is doing it the same way so that you're not going, oh shit, well that didn't work on that trade, I'm going to go try something else. That's not the way. I don't care what you're using. That is not the path to success. Master something and then experiment, but to master one thing. It could even be one trade. So for example, in our purple belt, as many of you know, if you want to pass that test, you can only trade 3s and Cs. That's it. You got to have 50 of those. 3s and Cs. Why do we do that? Because I want you, those are the money waves. I want you to focus on those. So if you're constantly looking for that wave that pays you the best, well, we feel like we're doing you a service there as educators. All right, we see right now, we can see the contraction of the Bollinger Band. So because they're taking up a little space here, I'm gonna back them off. Okay, now let's get in there on a daily and see how this looks. Because looks like I got a lot in there. Okay, Young Yan. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so here's a good A, B, C to finish. X is a little iffy, but let's go with it. Okay, so here's our Y. So we got to get all this down here. This has to move down here. That has to move down 1. Could have changed. Sometimes it changes when you change time frames. Okay, so looks like if you were in this, you got stopped out. So I'm going to pull that off. So we'll look at next trade. This is getting blown up. This is out. I'll just clear some of this out. I'm not trying to disrespect the work here. I'm just so I can look at it. Okay, what do we got here? Well, that looks impulsive. That looks corrective. So that's not, you don't need a master's in Elliott Wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. That's not hard. A little squishy down there, 65 right on the close. So I would deduce that this algo is still in play. Look how we bounce at the 50, don't get it, come back, golden zone. It looks like a flat. Although you could do a 5 there. So you could do it as a zigzag, right? Almost doesn't matter, right? Do we really care? Do you need to do the subdivision there? Probably not, right? So there's the correction of the initial impulse, right? So it's an internal, right? Here's the low, here's the high, internal correction. So with that, I get a golden corner here, although we were right on the edge of it. So I know that I've got 80%, right? It's best odds in trading, bar none. It's the single, right? Unless we're talking about selling out of the money options. Best odds, best technical odds. In terms of a price pattern, there is nothing better than a median line, right? So we've got 80% probability of getting there. Now, I don't know if I get there here or somewhere 2 years from now. I just know that 80% stays in play unless that pivot is broken. That should be comforting to you. What do you mean I got 80% odds? Yeah, I mean you've got 80% odds. Now, 80 is not 100. So people say, man, I put on that golden corner, I got stopped out. Okay, welcome to the reality of trading. So next time with 80% odds, you're not going to take it because you got stopped out once. This is the wrong business for you. Okay. Well, let's look at what kind of hurdles, right? Because remember, there's always another one on the other side, which is, it's easy to forget that because you get so caught up in like, oh man, I'm kind of getting this, right? Don't forget there's another one on the other side. So what are we always looking for? Okay, where's the resistance? What am I going to run into here that might be a problem? Well, I ran into the 50 on this side, kicked me back to the other 50. Went back to the 50, now kicked me to the golden zone. This shit is not happening randomly. That's what I want you to take from this. This is software doing this. Right? There's not a guy sitting here going, oh, you know what? When it gets to that 50, let's buy it. No, that's you and me, right? This is all just code. Okay, WXY, 1, 2. Well, why would you not think 1, 2? Why would you not think that? Is there some reason to not think it? Well, I don't think so, right? So process of elimination, because I don't have a 5 here. So again, this is where the Elliott it's a guide. Okay, I've got a 3 there. I don't have an impulse here. I've got an impulse in the C of the A, B, C. So I know I've got a good candidate here for a hard pivot. Okay, what am I looking for? Well, the next requirement would be, well, hey, if I get a swing, can I get a higher low? What do I get? I get a higher low. Is it technical? Yeah, it's technical. All right, so I get a higher low that's technical. So when it starts to correct, you're down here going, God, maybe I'll get a golden zone. Wouldn't that be sweet? And then I'd have a golden corner, and that would fit with my overall macro Elliott count. 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, see, if that's 1, 2, I gotta have another 1, 2 if we're gonna go. Now, do we know that this is not just gonna bang up here and do this? Of course not. No, right. So here, welcome to trading reality. Wait a minute. Hey, Trade Devil, isn't there 80% on that one? Yep, there sure is. There sure is. Well, wait a minute. I thought I had 80% of. Well, you could actually, in this case, you could get. Look at that. Look at that. That's just unfucking believable. Look at that. So you could hit this in the golden zone, just shy of the target. This frequently happens. It won't quite make the target, or if it breaks, it'll break that 65 just enough to tag the target, and then it'll turn, because what else would it be doing? Oh my God, that's just a beauty. Right? So here you look at it and say, well, God, that short sure looks like a good option. But wait a second, how would that fit? If this is the WXY and we're thinking 1, 2, if I just get an ABC here, how am I going to factor that in? All right, well, fortunately, Ralph gave us an answer to that. All right, we can just lay it out and say, well, oh, if I don't get, and how are we going to know, right? So what's the, well, fuck, man, you're giving me 2 scenarios. Well, how am I going to know which one? Well, there is a way to know. If I get a 3rd here, right, then I know my low is in. You don't know until you know, right? That's the bitch of it. There's no certainty in trading. None. Don't look for it. There is no certainty. There's no perfection. These are things not to be in your mind. You're not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. And I mean nobody. You're going to be stopped out more than you're not, as everybody is. Except don't fight it. So how do we deal with that? You don't take giant risks, right? You just look. This is why, God, that's just such a good short. Oh, fuck. It's tempting to look at that as an alternate. I mean, a pretty good looking alternate, right? Look at the risk reward, 6.5 to 1 on the alternate. Well, what's interesting about that, it would be bringing us to the 50. Interesting scenario here. So how do you trade this? Well, you're a little late. So you're kind of late on this one, right? You wanted this here. Right, so you don't want, if you're buying it now, you don't want to buy that close into the next golden zone and to the median line tag. Now that doesn't mean that we're going to tag and turn, but you don't have enough room there. So you're kind of in a conundrum. Either you're bearish of Dell for whatever reason. What else do I have? You're running hot down here. I guess, what is he giving me? A Stoke. This is volatility. So the implied volatility is low. I got a Stoke, but RSI is what I would go to. Right? Look, we got a little hot there. If we come up into this, that would be a low cost short. And very low risk, right? You're going to risk from the 65 to the other side of the target, right? I mean, it's a very, very low risk, right? Because if we're going beyond that, the threat is it's a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Well, where's the target for 3? Here, right? 1, 2. If it comes golden zone, I know the negative 100 is going to be the 1618. So there's the target. So you could actually, if you took it here, if it breaks and we start to go, depending on the subdivision, you can probably see it in there. It looks like you got a 1, 2. You'd be going 3. You could bounce there, right? Would make perfect sense. 4. Now, do I get the 5? If I get the 5, I can remove the X out of the possible scenarios because it's not going to be, well, I guess it could be ABC, but you'd be using, okay, well, I don't want that to go too much beyond the first X, even though, again, could. That would be abnormal. 1, 2, 3, well, you're not going to confirm until you see what happens on the 4. But you would remove this candidate. You would remove this one, this guy out, this one out. Now I'm thinking 1, 2, do I get a 3? Right, we'll put that one aside for a second. 1, 2, do I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Well, still could be ABC. You're not going to know. You're not going to know because if there's 1, 2, if you didn't get, because the 1, 2 is kind of skinny, right? This to think, oh, you're going to get this might be asking for too much, right? 1, 2, that's going to be a 2, 6, 1, 8 minimum, right? We can just draw it up. You can look at this and say, okay, well, if that's the 1, 2, boy, to get up here, to get the 2, 6, 1, 8, that's an extreme. So there would be the median line tag for 5, 2, 6, 1, 8, and 3, right? You don't want to project beyond that because now you're hitting the Hopium pipe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do I have? Could it still be the X? Yeah, it could. Could. If it's 1, well, let's label it. So here's what your chart's going to look like. If I get this, 3, but you're going to have the 4, 5 right next to the WXY, right? You're going to have that 3 and that X together. Now, how are you going to know? You're not going to know until you see what happens here. Do I get a 4 that leads to a 5? If I get this and I start to come down, well, now I'm thinking, oh, wait a second. The 3, this starts to fall apart. Where do you know you're wrong? When it takes out that 1. Right? Then you're probably going 3, 4, 5, right? So you get, see, it's giving you guidelines. It's giving you directional guidelines. Like, oh, if you take a right over at the oak tree, you're going to end up down. It's giving you directions, really. Oh, it doesn't do this. Oh, well, then must be that. It's the if not this, then that. As opposed to, I don't know, it hits some moving average and I don't know, it looks like maybe there's some resistance up here. Are there going to be stops up there? Absolutely. It gives me a logical sequencing that again, if I didn't think it would help you, we wouldn't spend so much time trying to teach it to you. Now, what else can we do? Again, there's so much we can do here. I want some Elliott channeling. Right? If I come down here for the 4, right? As long as I don't overlap that 1, right? Can I still play that as the 4? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. I'd be, again, I've got Elliottians who are, I often tell people I'm the weakest Elliottian on the team. I would still go with an X there if we got this, right? I have to check with my purists, but I'm fairly certain we can get a second X, can go higher, although it's the abnormal, right? It's more normal to not go higher. Fortunately, right, if you had that question, just like I have that question, I've got 3 guys on my team that are advanced Elliottian wizards that I could get that answer from. It's a nice thing about having this community. There's an answer where I've got really skilled people that can give you that answer. I'm not positive, to tell you the truth. I think that X can go. And I'm not a purist, so if it did, and we started to come down and do this, I'm putting the X there. Okay, young Jan, so have I helped you here? Well, I think it's too far gone to take the long here until you see what you get, right? Let's see what happens when you get to the median line. You want it. I mean, you had two shots at the trade down here, right? And this is, I use this example a lot. You don't need to sit here in the golden zone with an order. You don't need to. Can I get a higher low? So here was the, are you going to take that? Well, what's it, what we were talking about before, when it's closing on the low, at least I want to see some wick rejection there. All right, show me that the buyers started to show a little strength and that all the sellers, those orders got eaten up. Okay, we're out of sellers. Oh, here come the buyers. The only thing I really care about down here is, can I get a higher low? Because what do I know with absolute certainty, right? There are things that you can know in the market. Well, one thing I do know with absolute certainty is there's going to be a bunch of stops down here. Right? That's just the way the market works. There's going to be a bunch of stops. And I guarantee you that the bears were trying to get them. If they can't get them, what happens? I get a cover. And that's what drives the next swing. Oh, well, we're going to push it down. Oh, no, can't, got to cover. Right, and that's how, it's just a sequence back and forth of who's right, who's wrong, and who's covering. So here was the better trade. So you've got the 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like you're kind of late to that party. Let's just double check something here. This might, again, another, all right, so we're long enough here. Another guideline here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like I got a pretty good start on a 5. I'm not saying that's done. And then I'd channel it. Okay, what else can I do? All right, what else can I do? It's too small for another set of median lines, so I'm really keying off of this, looking for that target. Putting it in Elliott context. Well, that's not going to be the 3. So 1, 2, 1. Okay, let's assume it finishes. If we go up here and we get that target, what are you anticipating? You don't know. Nobody knows. What are you anticipating? 5 going to be followed by a 3, right? I'm just drawing it in, right? I mean, it could do this, right? I mean, there's no rules. The market's going to do what it's going to do. Would you think 2 here? Maybe you'd rethink it. Right, this you got to be flexible here. Maybe you'd think this. Oh shit, looks like I'm in a 4-5 because I can get if I see you can get the subdivision here. So that again, this is Elliott helping you. Oh shit, look, I can get an impulse in there. Well, if I can get an impulse in there, I get an alternate count. Oh, that could be the 3. Now again, back to what things that we can measure that we know. Well, if that's the 3, oh, that would be the 2, 6, 1, 8. That's an extreme for a 3. Have they gone farther than that? Yeah, of course. But if you're looking for a big ripper in the third, 2, 6, 1, 8 is a reasonable target. Of course, they've gone farther than that. But that you don't want to be projecting for abnormal. You want to be checking. Well, what would be a reasonable target? Would be up here. Oh shit! Look, I got 2, 6, 1, 8 and the algo target there. And you might come a little short of the target because you went a little deep on the golden zone. You see how it gives it. It just becomes logic, not, I don't know. Moving averages are going up. I guess I'll buy it. There's a whole mind sequence here that you go through to set up the trade. Now, when you set up the trade, then it just becomes, okay, have I set the thing up, right? Is this intelligent trading or am I just gambling? Plenty of that in the markets, right? Not saying you can't make money that way, but over time, you're not going to make money. Okay, so I can look here and say, all right, well, there was the resistance right there. So I don't know that I want to ride this down if it's coming lower. That seems like a reasonable. Okay, well, if that's going up for that 5, well, there's 9 to 1. Okay, if I get stopped out, that can't be soul crushing. Okay, I got stopped out. Fuck, next trade. As long as the risk is reasonable, that's what we're always doing. Everything that I've shown, that's the most important piece of it right there. All of this secondary to this. How much you're risking, how much you're making when you're right. At the end of the day, that's the core skill, which is it's amazing that we make it so hard on ourselves because our egos are involved. So we don't want to get stopped out. We have a little more room. A little more. Oh, this is going to go. All right. Oh, you know what? All right. I'm just going to hold this long term. that's, if you're in options, you can't do that, right? I know Young Jan's an option trader because that's what he's been working on. That's the skill he's developing. So he's working on the TA so he can make better decisions about when he enters the options market. 4 or 5, why would you not take it? If you're looking for a traditional, why would you not take that? It's only one reason. Right? You got something you like better. All right, let's see what else I got here. Well, I got a few more. Okay, so CN Salazar, always a star, always comes through when I come to members looking for content. Great member, been with us for a long time. All right, CN, what do we think? Oh, DocuSign. I actually want DocuSign and Pfizer. How are we doing on time? Pretty good. Okay, DocuSign. Do I need to make a copy? No, that worked. Okay, so DocuSign. Okay, shit, I cannot make up, right? Is there a chart we pulled up today where we haven't seen it? No, not one. Not one. All right, so A, B, C into a W. Okay, well, per his analysis here, let's just kind of work through what he sees. Oh, that's pretty ugly. I got to pull back out here to see where we are. Whoa. DocuSign, right? So this is COVID, crazy. COVID, not so crazy. We're going back to work. All right, again, it's not that I don't care about volume. I'm just going to kind of clear up the chart. Well, we're going to have to go out to a daily here. Whew, full U-turn. Okay, well, this is just habitual for me, right? So if I see something like this, I start going like that. I say, okay, well, this is the accumulation range. What is happening here? Accumulation, right? What's happening up here, right? This is the distribution, right? I'm sure there's Wyckoff people here could get that labeled. There's the spring, right? The distribution. Now this is, anyway, week longs are just getting buried here. Everybody's out here, and this is despair, right? So here's the whole cycle. You got a nice, I know he knows this, right? So I can't go 1, 2, right? That's an absolute. Can't go 1, 2. 2 can never go lower here. So this first bit really doesn't matter, right? To us, right? 3, 4, 5. So what a nice impulse we get here, right? That goes right into the distribution, and well. Oh boy, that is ugly. Well, so you can see, right, the attraction here is like, wow, we're back down into the accumulation range. What's below? RSI. Well, you're in the discount zone. I can't say that that's given me a whole lot of conviction. I think the attraction here is because it's a little bit of it's so low. Oh, I think he gave me let me go to a 2-hour. Okay, so here's your 80%, right? So that's not a golden, but right, got the median line, 80% realized, so we can take that off. A, B, C. Well, that looks pretty reasonable because we can pretty much, I think, all agree that this is not impulsive. So it's corrective. So I'm going to see, and I'm just taking these off here just so it helps me a little bit do this for these guys. Okay, so here's I'm going to take the little micro off. Well, we got more than we like here. Okay, so I see what you're doing. Okay, so you didn't give me the full A. Oh fuck. Can I get a B out of that? B. Oh, that's ugly. That's not going to work. I might put the C up here. I can. Oof. Boy, that is ugly. Let's see if I can make that work. I may not. 3 may be the shortest. Well, God, can I get a diag in there? Let's see if it will out. That's how I would do it. Well, it's a W, so fuck, that is brutal. All right, let's stick with the W up here. So I can get an ending diag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get an ending diag into that. I can't say I love that. You need 5 here, so I'd have to spend some time with this. That's a little bit deep there. A, B, C into the X. You might have to do it this way, because that's the 5 to finish it. From here, let's see if that's one. I'd go to my Elliott Wizards on that before I traded it. Okay, so DocuSign W. Well, if that's the X, we need an AB. I can't say that looks great. Why you must be in it, CN, because it's kind of ugly. It wouldn't be one that I would bring up and go, oh, well, we got to trade that. But that would make me want to check. So if that's the X, we need an ABC to give us the Y. So the candidate here that you'd be considering would be A, B, C. Fuck, all right, it doesn't matter. All right, something like that for the Y. But you're looking for a pretty big. You're looking for the AB and a pretty good rip into the C to get the Y here. You'd anticipate the Y going higher. So what do we have? Can we work up? Might be the angle's too steep. What would cause that? Why would DocuSign rip that far? Seems unlikely. Well, he knows, right? Count is shite. Could have bought him though. You know, if you're not in it, that's not one that I would jump on. Can I get a 5 here? Maybe I can. I think you can actually. So I'm going to change that. So let's go A. So that's actually a bit. So let's see if I'm not fucking this up. I think you got to go. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think you got to go here. 3, 1, 2. So you have to go here. Candidate, right? Candidate for an ugly. God, that's an ugly diag. What am I missing? Maybe you need the 3 there. You're gonna have to do it here. Some sort of clusterfuck in there. A, B, C into the B. So this is actually. Let's go up. I might rethink it that way. Just looking for and also if you wanted to trade this, whether it's as firstly laid out as he presented it, okay. Either way, if it's 1, 2, or we're finishing the C, or if it's A, B, and this would be 1, 2, 3, right? So the alternate would be here. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, why would DocuSign fly that far? Sure, I see that. Right. What's the reason for that? That would be a massive move. Oh shit! Right? We went from 39 to 69. Let's get that tightened up. Where are we pulling that from? Oh, that's good. So you have a trade there, right? So that's tradable. I know he knows that, right? So because whether you count it as he did it or as we're looking at it here, well, do I have 80% odds? Yeah, I do. Do I have an Elliott count that I have a whole lot of conviction in? Not really here, but I could play that. Okay, why? Oh, Jesus, come here. It's log scale, that's why. 5.64 to 1. What else did I do here? That might be too steep. Maybe too steep. But a reasonable trade. If you're stopped out, next trade. If you get the hit, okay, good. Made 5 to 1, 5.5 to 1. Where's the resistance likely to be? Where are the stops? Well, we know they're up there, right? We know they're going to be here. Right? They're going to be stops here, stops here, stops here. Right? So all reasonable targets. But that's about as best a setup as I can see there, CM, to try and take the, this is kind of an abortion. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Kind of a ugly start. Could be a couple of different things. So you wouldn't have a whole lot of conviction in that, other than there are 5 swings here, right? You can see 5 swings here, and there's a very pronounced 3 that corrects it, right? So that's a candidate, right? Wouldn't be my favorite trade of the day, but that's very tradable, right? Get stopped out, move on, next trade. All right. Let's see, how am I doing on time? I might, if I have time, CN, I'll come back to do Pfizer, because I got Mosang. Mosang is, I think that's a new member, because I don't recognize that avatar. It's a pretty cool avatar. Okay, hang with me. What are you giving me, Mosang? Oh, ETH Bear. Oh, right. Somebody mentioned that this was an interesting count. Okay, so let me. Oh fuck! You didn't give me. Shit. Okay. Well, we can make sense of this. Let's see. If I don't think I can. I think if I do launch, I don't think that's going to launch. I think that's going to launch one of mine. Oh, maybe not. Oh, maybe it'll work yours. Oh, cool. It did work. Is that what you gave me? A 2 hour? You gave me a 3 hour. I'm surprised that worked. Let's see. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, so we're going to go A. You're giving me a couple of counts here. So the one possibility is that we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, shit. Let's see here. So this, we'd be going A, B, C is the bearish count here. So this would all be corrective. This is clean. This is questionable. I'd be more inclined to think WXY. But you could do a WXY into the B. 1, 2, 3. That's good work there. Expanding triangle. Interesting. Good thought. And then you've gone 1, 2, 3, another triangle, 4, up to the 5 for the ABC. Okay, so let me bring it over here on a 2 hour and see if I can recreate that. So this would be, oh shit, I'm going to go to a 4 here. Well, there's a couple of key spots here that are noteworthy, right? Shit that doesn't happen randomly. Well, at the base of it, no matter how you slice it, right? This is essentially what he's going with, or proposing. I don't know that he's trading this, right? He's proposing that as a bearish alternate, that God damn it, this could all be corrective. It's hard to argue with it. Well, so see, bulls are looking at this going, oh, probably, right? We're working on that, right? Bulls are working on that, thinking, oh shit, 1, 2, 1, 2. Bears are thinking, oh, well, let's tee up a few things, right? So we bring that over. All right, always now go on the other side. Where's Waldo? What did we just hit? And again, I can't make this stuff up. Right, so this is, how do people trade without that, knowing that's there, right? Because otherwise you're looking at that going, why does it stop there? Why does it stop there? Like right there. Why there? Why not a little higher? Why not this pivot? Why there? Well, you draw your own conclusions, right? If you don't want to take my word for it, you shouldn't take my word for it. Start drawing it up on charts and see what you see. Tell me if you don't think that that's the most consistent algorithm in the market that we can spot, right? God knows how many there are, but it leaves a nice big footprint. Okay, so we've got this going here. Little throw over on that side, right? So very common in the channel. A, B, C, right into a golden zone. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And we're kind of back into just a big old box. Well, you probably take that up. At least we're making progress off of it. B, well, how are you going to get that B done? A, B, C, I suppose. It's always good to have the, what if we're wrong? What if crypto is going to tank here? My view is this is the time to be aggressive. So this would be in my back pocket. It would be one of my counts. Well, okay, let's look at this. How are we going to know, right? How are we going to know? If it's A, B, C, what would we be anticipating? Well, let's go to a daily. Right, so the idea, the thinking, we're just looking at the broad strokes, would likely be W, X, Y, right? A, B, C. Okay, so you got to back up and say, well, wait a minute, where's that fit? How does that fit in? Right? Does the context work? Well, and there's your COVID low. Yeah, I mean, it does actually, right? So you could label it this way, right? The assumption we completed up here, which is a reasonable assumption. There is a strong contingent, right? Some of my team feel it's this, right? And this is 1, 2, and we're going, but we can't. Let's not be cocky about it. Nobody knows. I mean, the only part here that you don't love is that the length of 2 relative to the 4 is not ideal. And you can see I mean, this is, so James M., right, who I think stood in for me last Friday when I was out of town, is a bull. Oh, you can do it this way. Let's take that up a degree. Let's go to green, color money. Right, because the internal, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse there is pretty solid, right? So the thinking is that we've got still a reasonable candidate here for this to be the 4, and this is 1, 2, 1 before we go big. Again, take it for what it's worth. My view is this is not the time to be defensive. We're in. Could we script a better macro picture? Could we? Banks in crisis, inflation hot. I mean, there's Bitcoin now, the number one asset of the year. This is the time to be aggressive, because if it's going to go, here's what the public does, right? They wait and they go, oh, okay, well, it's safe now. Okay, once we take out this, well, now I can buy it. Right, the money is made. You got to have some risk. Right? God damn it, come here. There's got to be a little risk taken down here so you can be there for that. I think this is the time to be aggressive. So while tremendous value to keep the bearish alternate here, so that you're not surprised. So if it starts, you're like, holy shit, what happened? So you're ready for it. I would use that pivot. Okay, we're not out of this yet. This is still really that we're in a range until we get on the other side of that. Well, then you got to get out on the other side of this one, right? So you could kick this up a little bit. We got to get out of that. So what's the high there? 2,500, 25-ish. Call that 25. Well, how are we going to know again if this is one? Well, this is 1, 2. This is not going to be 3 as it is now finishing here, but that very well could be the 1 of 3. So this would be your next anticipation. Well, so if this is 1 and now we come in for the 2, okay, is this still a candidate here? Absolutely, right? You'd be like, oh shit, I don't know. How would you know? Well, you're not going to know. Right? Each one of these is equally valid. So how would you trade it? Well, Same way you trade anything, right? You'd pick a side, whatever your bias is, for whatever your reasons are, and then you put the fucking trade on, and you don't lose your shit if you get stopped out. Okay, look, I got a great contender here. I can put something on like this because minimum target would be to go up and break that high. Okay, well, so I can put something on there. I'm not going to load up on a shitload of leverage because it could easily be heading down here. So I'm not going to go 20x or 100x. I'm going to buy some Ethereum. Okay, right? Okay, and I'm not going to take an undue amount of risk, because that's a good way to blow your account up. There's no reason to do that. Remember, the name of the game is stay in the game. So 1, 2, if this is the 1, 2, where's the upside? Here, right? That's the 3. That's what you're after. How are we going to know? You're not going to know, right? When we break this last golden zone, now I got clear skies. Now there's no resistance other than the stops that'll be up here, right? The bears that will defend there. This is not the time to be super risk averse, right? Crypto's starting to kick, right? This is when you want to take a little more risk on the bull side, right? So if you can see a count, right? I know Mosang is offering us, right? It's nice of him to do, right? She's offering us a bearish alternative, like, hey guys, don't be bull blind, right? There's a bearish alternative that's very real here. So if that's how you're feeling, shit. If that's how you're feeling, okay, well, we got a 5 here. It's kind of ugly. The finish is fugly, but okay, it's not going to be perfect. Elliott Wave is not perfect. You're not going to get a perfect subdivision every time. Okay, it's one or the other. So I can take this here without crazy risk, knowing I've got massive upside. That's 27 to 1. See, what you don't want to do is go, well, I was kind of nervous about it, and I didn't want to get stopped out, so I wasn't there. So I waited until it broke this, right? Now here, well, what have you left on the table, right? Pretty good chunk of it. And plus, you absolutely, just think about it. You don't want to go, oh, I'm going to wait till it breaks. No, you want to be long going into it. So if it bumps there, right, at least you're giving back house money. Okay, let's hear. If it's 1, 2, let's put the whole thing together. If this is 1, 2, 1, right? It's not 3, so we can say, okay, 1, 2, right? Okay, I got a candidate here for a 1. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a 3. What am I looking for here? A 1, right? You don't have to pick the turn, but because if it's gonna go, there's going to be a 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Where's the trade? Right there. Right? Where's the stop? Right there. Right? Because if they, again, I've said this 10,000 times. If there's a pivot there, they want to go get, bears want to go get it. If they get it, well, oh, wait a minute. Now, just think for a second, right? Again, it's context. If they get it, is this my correction? Is my correction over? Probably not. Probably not, because I got a 5 here. Right, see, just the 5s and 3s, that was the genius of Elliott, the 5s and the 3s, which is like, fuck, man, that's that simple? At the end of the day, it is that simple. Now, there's all sorts of complexity and double zigzags and WXYZ. There's a lot of accommodations, just the reality of how the market moves. But the baseline is 5s and 3s. Find the 5s, find the 3s. You can look here. Is this a 5? That's a stupid question, right? Of course it's not. So it's not impulse. Did we get a new low here? We didn't, because you might have been thinking, oh, well, hey, slow your roll there, partner. Well, isn't that a 5? No, it's not a 5, because I don't get a new low here. It's a 3. This is a candidate for a 5. Now, could it still be corrective? Yes, he's showing us how this can still be corrective. Yes, it can still be corrective. You could still get stopped out. This could still break these lows. This is all still very, market's going to do what it's going to do. Market is not obligated to do anything ever. Ever. No obligation from the market. It's going to do what it's going to do. We just have to look for, where can I get in here with reasonable risk reward? That's the whole name of the game. Which is why we're looking for, okay, do I want to buy it now? No, because I'm anticipating this is going to come down here. I can buy it down here on sale. Think of it this way, right? Where is it? Where's retail? Where's we're in log scale. I'll do it this way. Discount, premium. Where do I want to buy it? If I just cut it in half, I'd prefer to buy it when it's on sale, not up here when it's at premium. Why? Why? If this is a 5, we're anticipating the 3. Does that mean I'm absolutely going to get a 3? Definitely not. Market could do whatever it wants to do. But since we don't have certainty, all I can do is play the context. If that's a, right, if that, I'm going to let it come at least halfway. There's a 50 before I go up for the 3, right? You want to pass your blue belt? That's the only trade you could take there, right? 3. Now you could take the 3 of the 3 if you want to be fancy about it. But I want you to take the 3, and I want you to just focus on those so you get your eye tuned to looking for those. That's why we do it. Good. Thanks for that, Moshe, for giving us that alternate, which is very, very real. My view, and it's only this, just my view, is not investment advice, right? This is just educational content, just a couple of guys and gals talking about the markets, right? I just give you my view, right? This is the time to be aggressive. All right. How are we doing on time? I think there's 1:30. Actually, a good thing you're seeing that's GZ talking about Moshe. All right, we'll finish last one. Koki, who I got to do? Koki has become indispensable to me because he did our new website. He's my go-to guy. Yeah, I would call him my Mr. Fix-It. If we have a problem, I call Koki. That's just his nickname. But oh, come on. What did you give me, Koki? You're not creating a problem for me here. Copy link. Let me try that again. No leave there. What did you give me? 3C on comp. Okay, so let me go copy here. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. What do we got here, Koki? Oh, all right. So he's playing the C. Okay, good example here. So I've got, well, it's okay. This works. So looks like we're far enough. So do we get, we got 786. Yeah, some people, purists, might bitch about that. That we didn't get 90% on that. I'm not such a purist that I wouldn't play that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the C there finishes the 1, 2, 3. Nice, right? So he looks like he's got an inside pitchfork. That's nice, or just a channel. Works either way. Are you doing an inside? I think you are. But here's the channel as well. All right, maybe it's just a channel. Well, there's a 5, there's a 3, but that, right? Okay, good example, right? Great example. Okay, well, you told me it's about 5s and 3s, right? So yeah, okay, well, there's a 5, there's a 3. Okay, well, there's the 1, there's the 2. Right? That's what you were looking at. You've been very reasonable to be thinking that that's what you're going to get. Oh, I got a 5, I got a 3, I got a 1, 2. It looks like I'm going to go. Doesn't happen. Okay, if you went long here, you might, if your stop was down here, you rode through this, you wouldn't be thinking, oh, I see, it's there now, it's coming. Because you didn't get what you were looking for. Come here. Right? You didn't get this, right? That's what was in your mind's eye. I'm like, oh, 1, 2, I see it right there. It's coming, right? Oh, got the 1, got the 2, right? And it doesn't happen, right? So you got to say, well, wait a minute, something else is going on. Oh shit, nothing below, right? You don't need anything below. Okay, something else is going on. Okay, could this all just be part of a bigger correction? Well, wait a minute. Now you got to back up and say, well, how would that fit? Here, let's go back to log scale. How would that fit? Well, let me go to a daily. All right, again, so he's actually done it for me here. How are we going to do this? Well, that looks like be able to get that. Ugh, that's gone. That's ugly. Well, that's not great looking there. So to some degree, if you're looking here, I'd be going, oh shit, I don't know. Why are we forcing something here? Oh, I don't remember. I've looked at it before. What it is, why comp is interesting. Okay, why the resistance up here, right? That's I'd be thinking, wait a second, why are we struggling up here? Oh, here we just do that. Okay, swing high to swing low. What's the resistance here? Is it technical? That's what you're trying to look for. Is it technical resistance? Just now go up here that's fighting me? Well, it kind of looks like it. Did it look like you had something technical here? It looks like maybe. Well, it looks like it broke. It did, right? So there's a clear break, right? So this is out of the picture, right? So one less thing to worry about. 1, 2, 3. That's not great looking. Oh shit, here I could have stopped and now I'm stuck. All right, Koki, I'm going to just back some of these off. Well, this is... I don't know, man. I don't think you have much here. Putting an order block in down here. Well, if I were going to take this, I'd let this 5 complete. I mean, that's all you can do. The overall picture is anyone's guess. Because here's what you wouldn't want to be thinking, Koki, is 1, 2, right? Just way. They're not related, right? This is something else going on. Which make you so smart not to label it, because what is it? Well, I don't think you have to really worry about it at the moment, right? In terms of how that fits bigger picture. Again, I would do this. I would kind of keep this over here. Okay, this is self-contained. This is not related, right? This is unrelated in my view, right? That's how I would look at it. This may be here, but by this you've gone way too far. So this is coming down here. This is maybe A, B, C, something else is going on. But right here, I've got a 3 followed by a 5. So whatever it is, where's the trade? The trade would be, let's let that 3 finish, come back for a 4, and there, right, you got a 5. Come down here, you go, it looks like you got an order block down here. Oh, you probably put it right there. Come down here. So where's the trade? Not going to give that a lot of room. 4.8 to 1. I mean, I wouldn't go much more than that. 3.5 to 1. Right? It's not worth it. So let's bring it back here. The overall picture, well, 1, we don't have this yet. If I come back here into that center line, right? I'm not trying to play the algo here, because I don't really want the 4 going to the 618, right? It reduces the probability that it is a 4. I want the 4 at most to go to the 50, so I might give it a little. All right, so what do we got here? 4.5 to 1, Koki. And then, I'd finish up with some channeling. God damn it. Come here. Something like this. That is your target. I mean, the algo is almost not in play here. You're just working off of the idea that we're going to retrace here. You'd have high volume. This is your resistance zone here where we chop, got through. Now waterfall, come back to test from below. That's the trade I would take, and then I would wait. I wouldn't try. I don't know what you have here. So again, when there's so many things to trade, why struggle with something you have no fucking idea what it is? Okay, there we go. All right, I'm hungry. I'm going to go get some lunch. All right, guys, thank you all for hanging out with us. Well, we got a lot of people. Okay, good. We do this every Wednesday. I do it live in these live streams on Wednesdays, but this is going on with my team, right? What do we got now? We've got 5 guys in there every day posting content, feedback, corrections where we see them. Idea exchange, right? If you want to join us, right, you can always join us for free, right? That's the white belt here. But if you want to get into the Discord, again, we've made it much more affordable. You can go over to tradedevils.com to get access to that. Then maybe once you're in there, you're like, okay, this place is all right. It seems like these people are cool and nobody's an asshole in here. You just say, okay, man, I want to kind of dabble a little. I'm going to try that blue belt, right? So instead of having to commit to a monthly ongoing, you say, all right, I'm just going to buy the blue belt, right? Do it at your own leisure. If you want to pass it, you still have to pass it. And none of these are easy to pass. None of them. I had somebody submitted their blue belt yesterday. They missed every single question, right? Sometimes we get people come in, they go, oh, fuck, I'll just click, let's see if I can pass it. That's kind of like, what's the point of that, right? But to go zero, he got 0 on his test. Well, my point being that we're not in it to give you a little ribbon and say, go get them. We're here to make sure that you're going into the jungle and you're well equipped, right? So you know what you're doing. So if of all the things that I teach, of all the things, right, the single most important is this risk to reward. If you just focus on that, I don't care what your TA is. This is the biggest problem people have, right? It's so simple. Oh, don't 3-to-1 minimum. Can you do that, right? You almost challenge yourself. Can I just take 3-to-1? And if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. If I get my 3-to-1, good, right? Because what's the temptation? Oh shit! All right, it got to 2. Okay, I guess I'm just going to take that. Is that right? Is that going to serve you over the long term? Because the one that does this, you're going to get out early and you're going to miss the big ride where you got your 6-to-1, which offsets all those times that you were wrong. So that's the focus, right? This is all the puzzle. That's the fun part. This is where you become a trader. I know it's so simple. It's so, come on, man. It's got to be more than that. I just got to know the TA. No, you don't. This is what you have to know. You focus on that, you'll be fine. Okay, guys, I'll wrap it there. You guys have a good one. What is today? I guess I'm back on Friday. So we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.